This is for the leaders, the visionaries, the hope bringers, kindness instigators. This is your place to get loved, poured into, activated, and inspired. Well, good morning. Welcome to Fireside Friday, June 17th, 2026. I feel like I say this every week, but June, we're in July, July 17th, 2026. I know I say it every week, but I feel like every week we're a week further, and I'm confused that so much time has passed, but yet not much time at all. I hope wherever this is meeting you today, that it finds you well. But I did want to ask before we really kind of dive further into what I feel is coming through, for you to take just a moment with yourself, to close your eyes if you can, and to breathe really deeply. To breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just check in with you. And as you do that, my question for you is, what were you hoping to receive today? What were you hoping I might speak to you about? What were you hoping to receive? Normally, and you can feel free to keep your eyes closed if you want to continue listening and open your eyes when you feel ready. Um, but slowing down just in the moment and with your breath, for some of us, especially in the height of summer, this may not have come in a little while. The peace to just be, to just breathe. So if that feels nice, please stay that way. You could even put your hand over your heart as you listen and just see what comes through and what's meant for you. Normally in these messages, I kind of work up to our card, but today I'm going to start with our card because it feels important to begin this way. So this is from the Earth Magic Oracle deck. And today we have Island, which is Solitude. The solitary tree on this island, surrounded by the glassy sea, can evoke different feelings depending on one's perception and beliefs. The tree, which is in full blossom, stands out amid the relative starkness and is illuminated by a beam of light emerging from the otherwise dark sky. It's an elegant reminder of how, even in what might appear to be relatively barren circumstances, there is still beauty and growth. Although an island like this can be a metaphor for isolation and desolation, the thriving tree proves that even in the harshest of environments, there is life. We can see the tree's spider like roots spreading out along the rocks, seeking nourishment from the moist soil. The sense of peace and solitude depicted in this image provides nourishment for the soul. You need to take some time for solitude, preferably in silence. Spend the morning, afternoon, or even the entire day by yourself, completely unplanned and unstructured. The bombardment of your senses by the noise and intensity of society leaves you on alert far more than is necessary. The vibration of millions of people's worry and fear throughout the world can impinge upon you and greatly affect you if you do not honor your need to pull back from time to time. When you have passed through any self constructed barriers to enjoying the quiet peace of solitude, it will serve you best if you simply observe the thoughts and emotions that pass through you, especially as those that cause shortness of breath or a quickening of heartbeat. Remember that isolation is experienced not by choice, but out of fear. When you decide to spend time with yourself in solitude, however, you are choosing to once again find and connect with who you really are. I have to admit, I didn't really want this to be our card today. I have been listening to a really incredible, empowering song that's actually going to be linked in the show notes. I always forget to bring the song here in this space. So, reminding us all, there is a playlist that exists in Spotify that is linked in the show notes. And every week I select a song that either goes with that message, usually with the message, or something that feels like it is in the orbit of what is going on or coming through. And this week's song is really powerful. And so I kind of expected this to be like a very energizing type of fireside. But that's what's interesting is that I still feel like, in some ways, my predictive mind or my programming from the Western world of what success and rah rah energy looks like is actually very different when we get down into the sovereignty of the truth of our strength, and especially as the feminine and in feminine leadership, because often our strength is softer. It is more subdued. It doesn't mean it can't be vibrant and loud and a lot of energy. But at the same time, I think the feminine is actually the thing that takes us deeper, whereas the masculine usually is pushing us into the action, into the protection, into more ways that we can tangibly touch and feel, where the feminine is actually asking us to feel, to really get into the depths of what's in here, of what this heart of ours is craving. And each and every one of you listening is here to usher in great change. I believe this. If you are drawn to me and to the messages that I am bringing through, you are here to bring great change. You do not like me or listen or find my frequency moving unless you are here to bring that same great change that has felt important and called upon my own soul. You are here to be the pattern changers, the lineage makers, and way finders inside your families, which can be deeply, deeply unsettling because it requires us to move and act and liberate ourselves internally in ways that we probably have not seen from our family of origin or the cultures that we're inside of. For most of us who listen here, we are in America, in the United States. And so much of that energy that swirls right now and that is going on, like I've said before, and I'll continue reminding us, this energy is going to continue kind of feeling like an onslaught. There is a lot of change taking place as the soil is broken up. And we will be heading into 2027 where we will round a little bit of a corner, but we are in the change of great paradigm shifting. And for those of you here to bring great change, this is great news. But for many of you and healers, we feel the change. We feel the collective around us. And even if your home is feeling like it's at peace and you can't quite figure out what's going on with you, you are probably absorbing a lot of the energy from the world. And so when we are also constantly inside of that energy in our algorithms, in our phones, there is just a lot that we are receiving and taking on. And in this energetic shifting that's also taking place for us, it is a lot to hold. And so, if you've been feeling more tired, this is normal. If you've been feeling overwhelmed but not sure where to place it, this is normal. We are at a great catalysmic change. This is a huge, huge moment and time, these several years right now, and this turn of moving from patriarchy into matriarchy is the way that I'm going to frame it here. But a lot more is happening. Just that we're shifting, like we've been talking about before and have touched on before. We are continuing to shift into this age of Aquarius, and that means that our old paradigms, our old ways of doing things, are falling away. And this is great news for you, wayfinders, for you, world builders, for you who are here to bring great change. This is great news. However, it is still requiring a lot of energy and anchoring. And so, again, the message this week is to find that solitude for yourself. And solitude doesn't have to mean silence if that's really, really threatening to you, or it feels like, ooh, like that feels loud. Silence feels loud. I would encourage you to just try. Take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes to just be with you, your breath, and what is. You can journal, you can do anything you want, but the point is that as you continue to move through and move with, you are going to need time, space, and margin, solitude, in order to continue holding what you are here to hold and ushering in what you are here to bring forward. Because again, a lot of you have been awakening, deepening in your own conscious over the last couple years. And as we continue this shift, more of the collective is going to continue to raise their own awareness, and they are going to need examples and love and light and healing in just the way that you are designed to bring it. And so that requires also steady nourishment of your own soul, stewardship of your own energy. And the things that you want to bring are absolutely possible. And you can continue to bring them forward from a vessel that is depleted. But why would you want to? Most of that conditioning is from tapped out, lack of depth, lack of real connection with what is happening. I've been having conversations for the last couple weeks about our organizations, many of the companies that are here, that a lot of times the systems that we're inside of right now are lacking substance, depth, purpose, and vision, because many of those things were built on productivity. They were built on numbers and metrics and growth and greed and power. That is not the way and the movement that we're moving toward. We are moving towards purpose, vision, towards reevaluation of what we are even here to do and bring about. What is the plot? Because in a lot of ways, we have lost the plot, right? And so that also means that believing in the power of who you are and what you're here to bring also means that we could believe that, hey, maybe my solitude, my nourishment, my margin is absolutely essential for what I am here to bring forward. And if I believe that I am here to make a different way, to find a different way, to be able to have the capacity to seek that out and have time and space with myself to create things that feel on purpose with vision, that means that we have to take time and space to be with ourselves, with the divine, and in community with others who are also doing the same to continue fanning these flames and continue that momentum that we're craving. And sometimes momentum, like I was saying at the beginning, looks like stillness. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like being still. And that's okay, because in each season that we move toward that, that we allow that, I would argue that we are better for it. Our homes are more peaceful, more peaceful. That we are more grounded, we're more connected, we're more on purpose, and we feel more alive in our lives in the way that we crave. Um, I came across this post this week, and I actually shared it in another recording I did that will be coming out following Fireside next week. But I wanted to go ahead and share it for this Fireside episode because I think it's so powerful and I was so moved by it, and reminding again of the great power and intention that exists within each of us, who want to create and bring about great change, and or who know that you are alive at such a time as this in order to usher that in through your lineage, through your sphere of influence, through your communities, through your parenthood, all of the ways that's coming forward. So this was a post from Instagram, and it was just a small snippet. She had a longer poem, but I really found a lot of value at the. It's from the Story Doula, and she says, "We all have a lineage of world builders. We all have ancestors and kin and folks in our corner who are praying for worlds not yet formed. World building is an intercessory art. It is imagination, prayer, willingness, and action. Even the oaks are building worlds, even the flowers, even the swallows sing the future into form. Your lineage of world builders is not just filled with artists and entrepreneurs and doers, it is also full of the more than human world. It's full of saints and beloveds and seeds and starlight. All of creation is interceding for something else to emerge, for new worlds to form. Intercessory means like it's standing for, it is with, it is on behalf. You are not only here because of what you feel, but because of the prayers of the lineage that produce you. You are a product, a dream come true, a prayer come to fruition, you and your life. And if you will allow that belief to continue to flourish inside of you, that also means that, like a good steward, it is yours to protect. It is yours to invest in, to be incredibly protective of. Whatever that gets to look like, whatever's landing for you, like that is meant for you this week. It is meant for you to take this very seriously. And I know that each of you do take your mission very seriously, but also it is important now more than ever to continue to take your own needs very seriously. And as many of you know, I lost the plot in a lot of ways for many years, leading up to a very big break in my life when I lost my father. But I was already on a journey of things kind of falling apart, falling away. The tenets of my life and my world and my faith all kind of were disrupted. Everything was kind of askew. And for this, I'm really grateful, although it is deeply disorienting to be inside of. At the same time, when we lose our way, that is usually when we really truly start to find it. Because life, really, in my opinion, isn't about a set of rules that we must follow. It's not about a blueprint or a rubric that we all fall under. There may be great truths that transcend all of that, but I think for each and every one of us, and especially here, to bring about this change that we crave, we are here to do things differently. And that means that our path is different. And often we find it as we make it, not as someone is able to give it to us, because our path doesn't exist until we create it. You are here to wayfind and to lead others through that process through your example. And I believe that we can also be nourished. We can find rest. We can do this without burning ourselves out or burning ourselves up or being burned by really listening and leaning inward and slowing things down. Because I think a lot of us are craving more of that slowness, that stillness. I feel like all week long, actually, my phone has been in do not disturb because for whatever reason, there's felt a lot coming in, even though there hasn't been a lot of things physically coming in, but energetically, the world is very, very loud right now. There's a lot of labor pains at work, and you're going to continue to feel them. So, again, we get the choice of how we want to have our human experience. This is our life. We get to choose. We get to continue to hold it all and try to army crawl our way through, or we can decide to continue to be that revolutionary leader and energetic healer that we are and say, nope, like this doesn't work for me. So, what would work for me? What does work for me? What gets to work within me? And this all in that solitude that that card was inviting us into, those things can be things that you contemplate, that you just sit with, that you just allow the answers to come forward. And for a lot of you, you're juggling a lot of plates. Um, and that's okay. Sometimes we need to release some of those plates. That could be a place too where we're releasing some things and making way for others. But it's all a part of your own internal discernment. It gets to be a process of synthesizing for yourself and with source, with the divine, with your ancestors and guides, with those who love you most. Continue to lean in and be reminded you're not alone. You'll have what you need, and you'll be given insight for how to accomplish and come into the beingness that you're craving right now, whatever that looks like. And again, if you can't feel like, or you feel frustrated, like, I don't even know how to fit something like that in. Well, girl or guy, if you're listening, then that is the most important thing for you to do right now is to find that time because you can. We find time and space for the things that are important to us, and you and your needs are vital. And in fact, they are like the first needs. You are going to be with you and your soul forever. This lifetime is still a relationship with you inside of it. And again, you get to choose how that's going to play out. It's been so good to be with you this week. I'll see you next week.